Most important thing you could ever learn. We're here talking in my kitchen late at night. If I could go back in time and learn one thing, I'm going to tell it to you right now. It's this. You can only pick one thing that you want out of life. And if you pick the wrong thing, you'll never really be successful. Let me back up. My mentor, Joel Salted, said, the worst thing in life is to get older and realize you got good at the wrong thing. And I see people that are very wealthy, but I don't admire them. I live here in Beverly Hills. There's billionaires all up and down the street. Doesn't mean I would trade lives for them. In fact, the best test is, I call it the exchange test. Would you trade lives? And the reason that almost anybody I meet, I wouldn't trade lives for them, it's not because they're not smart, it's not because they're not good people. It's because, one simple thing, they're optimizing for the wrong thing. So let's say you say, I want to be an entrepreneur. That's not something you should optimize for. That's ridiculous. Here's why. You have one life. Maybe we go to heaven or hell after. Maybe there's an afterlife. Maybe there isn't. I've never been there, so I can't speak on it. But I can tell you, you get one chance on this planet. And if you optimize for an entrepreneur, what about your health? What about love? What about happiness? I know miserable entrepreneurs that are fat, out of shape. I don't want to be them. I know a dude that, not a close friend of mine, but a friend of an entrepreneur friend. This guy's a billionaire, but he's so fat he can't get out of bed. His $2 billion, he has a private 747 jet. So would I want to be him? No. He optimized for the wrong thing. He optimized to make $2 billion, but he forgot, why would you want to have $2 billion if you don't have health? I always remember what Joel Salatin said. Nothing worse in life than realizing you got good at the wrong thing. That guy got good at the wrong thing. It's irrefutable. You cannot argue with that. Why would you give your health up to gain money? There's a saying that when people are young, they lose their health to get wealth, and when they're old, they use their wealth to get back their health. It's a circular logic, and circular in this case is illogical. It's stupid. People are stupid. If I could go back in time, I'd realize most people are lost. Literally, most people are lost. I'm talking about the people who write. You know, I got the biggest book club in the world. I know top authors and all these people. They might be smart in one specific domain, but if you look at their life, I wouldn't exchange for it. There's a few people that I've met that when I look back, I'm like, you know, one of them, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Not everything, but he was healthy. He was strong. He changed the world. He made gyms hot. Gyms come from Arnold Schwarzenegger. He made that shit hot. All these gyms all over America just from Arnold fucking Schwarzenegger. Now, other people worked on it, but not like him. He motivated people, became a self-made millionaire before 30. He wanted to act. Acting's an art. He was an artist. He became, you know, maybe he wasn't the best actor in the world, but he's not bad. I was actually in his kitchen a couple months ago, just like this, me and him talking, smoking cigars. He's a good actor. Like I said, he might not be, you know, Academy Award, but he got the good life. His son was there. His kids were there at his house. He's happy. He's friends. He's got social life. You got to have health, wealth, love, happiness. If you at any point optimize for anything that doesn't involve all four of them, you're making the biggest mistake in the world. Entrepreneur people go, I want to become an entrepreneur. No, you don't want to become an entrepreneur. Entrepreneur is a means to an end. You don't want to live your life lifting weights. It's a means to an end. To put on muscle, to increase your metabolism, to change the direction of your telomere growth. You get older because the way your telomeres, your cells, change size. Lifting weights has been proven to reverse that. You want anti-age, that's why you lift weights. But you don't live a life to lift weights. If you met anybody and you say, what is your life for? Oh, I want to take a piece of steel and go like this. They're a fool. It's a means to an end. And the second in life you make the tool the end, you're like the carpenter whose goal is to hold a hammer, not create a house he can live in. You hire somebody not to hold a hammer. The tool's irrelevant. If they could do it without it, I'm sure at some point in the future they'll be able to build houses without hammers. So they'll get rid of them. At some point, we might evolve as a society where you don't need entrepreneurs. There's some collective intelligence that works together. The smartest people coalesce, and it's this single focus entrepreneurs. You might not need Bill Gates. You might not need Steve Jobs. In fact, some countries like Norway, Denmark, Scandinavia, they have a lot of great things, and they don't have it exactly like America. I love America. I'm American, but I'm just saying, entrepreneurialism, capitalism, democracy, they're all an end. They're all a means to the end, and there's only one end, and that's a good life. Now, everyone will define good life a tad bit differently. You know, for some people, good life is you travel a lot, but there's some common factors that all people must have. Every fucking person watching this, there's no argument. You must be relatively lean with your body fat. I'm going to make this real blunt for people. You cannot be overweight. I don't care what anybody tells you. What will a smart scientist tell you? You got to be lean. Now, you don't have to be anorexic, but you have to be lean. So you have to optimize in order to get the good life, to have your hormones churning at the right pace. To be happy is your happiness is predicated on your hormonal balance. You get too much estrogen, you get too much testosterone, you get too much cortisol, too much estradiol. These things mess with you. So a lot of these the simplest predictor of you having screwed up hormones are things like body fat. Now, again, I'm not saying everybody needs to look like a runway model. That's not even what you need to optimize for. But if that's not a big consuming part of your life, I don't give a shit if you live here in Beverly Hills. I'll have a better life than you. Guaranteed. You can make $2 billion. I'll make $100 million. And I'll live long enough to enjoy it. I'm not talking about me specifically. All right. In fact, you can substitute you for me. You. Let somebody else make $2 billion and get so fat that they lay in a bed for the rest of their life. Let them do it. That ain't your concern. You can mention and lend a helping hand, try to guide him back, but like Alan Nation told me, don't try to teach a pig to fly. He can't do it, and it bothers the pig. Most people aren't going to listen to this advice. I've always said the best advice nobody will listen to. It's too good. It's too good of advice. People can get lost. I want to become an entrepreneur. Well, I've been an entrepreneur since I'm 16. I am qualified to tell you this. I have started many, many successful companies. Now, there's some entrepreneurs more successful than me, but I only judge them by good life scale. And very few entrepreneurs that I meet past the good life. And you can even, it's not even me being judgmental. If I ask them, do you like your life? They're like, oh, I'm burned out, I'm dead, blah, blah, blah. It's taking longer than I thought. So keep your health. Keep your health and make money a little slower. Love, happiness, social life. This one is even more important in many ways than health. If I had a choice between being overweight and having a lot of good people around me, I'd be overweight and have good people around me versus be super super lean, super fit, and nobody likes me. So your social skills is very important. And it's not just social skills. It's not just how to win friends and influence people. It's how to win friends and influence the right people. Because let's be honest here. If you've been on planet Earth for more than 10 or 15 years, you are highly and acutely aware of the fact that most people do not have your best interests at heart. We grow up, if you're talking to an evolutionary psychologist, there's a number. It's 150 people. We're optimized to have about 150 friends, family, relatives, acquaintances, and close friends that will have our back. That's it. Now they're spread out because we live in a world of mass transport. People spread all over the world. It's your job in life to find 150 people. It's a very famous number. You can Google it. It's a famous sociologist came up with the number. And it's about 150 is what your brain's optimized. The reason is you can keep track of 150 relationships and each of their relationships to the other 150 people. So it's actually your brain is tracking 10,000 combinations. But I won't digress into more advanced stuff. I'm just trying to give it to you. No school will tell you this. No professor will tell you this. For the most part, no religious person tells you. Definitely presidents, Hillary Clinton, presidential candidate, Donald Trump, they will not tell you this. But if at the end of your life you look back and you go, you had a good life, you won. Now, I will tell you, finances do play a part in that. If you have de-optimized your financial life, whether it be you're a slave to somebody underpaying you, not delivering value to you, whether you have a job that's not aligned with your personality, there's genetic factors that tell you what career you should choose. Most people pick the wrong career. Why? Because nobody told them. I mean, it almost makes me sick. There's parents out there telling their kids to become dentists so they'll make more money when the kid's artistic. No. If you have kids and they're genuinely talented artists, let them be an artist. I had someone Snapchat, and I get 10,000 Snapchats a day. Somebody said, Ty, I've been a classical pianist since I was like 8, and I'm like 25, and my parents are pressuring me to give it up because they say there's no money. I'm like, fuck them. Just because they're parents don't mean they'll give you good advice. Trust me. Parents' interests are not always aligned with their children. You don't believe me? Read Evolutionary Psychology textbook by Dr. David Buss. Parents have 50% of your genes, not 100%. Only you have 100%. Parents will often pick favorites. They will often want to live out their fantasies through you. They'll often be fear-based. Be a poor artist better than a wealthy dentist, and you hate it. Now, I believe, and the good news for the parents is, you can become a classical pianist, and using modern entrepreneurial skills and modern social media skills, I believe you can make a good living. You might not be the next Bill Gates. You will not be the next Warren Buffett if you're a classical pianist. There's no chance. But who cares? You can still, for you, be experiencing the mental state of, I'm living a good life, which is the only goal to optimize. All you people watch, I know tie-in entrepreneurs, follow me, you guys making 100 million, doesn't mean I give a shit about you. Doesn't mean I envy you at all. I had a guy here the other day. I won't say who he is, a very wealthy guy, I think he's almost a billionaire. I was eating, and I had a chef bring me food. And he was like, why do you spend money on a chef, man? You could take that capital and you spend money on living a good life, and you could take all that capital and you could make more money in your business. I said, yeah, but I got better life than you. And we're friends. And he immediately recognized that I was right. And he laughed. And he's like, you're right. And I said, what does it profit a man to have all the money in the world but eat shitty food? The first thing I do when I make money is eat better food. That's the most primal need of humans. Buy a better mattress. Fuck it. Let your business be slower. Don't be like, and people are out there telling you, optimize, no, sleep on a fucking floor for 10 years. Well, there's a balance. You can be frugal, but you shouldn't. Don't be eating ramen. All you people eating ramen 5-10 years, you're fools. I don't care if you become the next Steve Jobs or not. First of all, Steve Jobs didn't live that long. And he said he didn't want to be the richest man in the graveyard. But he was. Now, he had a disease that probably anybody I could get. I'm not making fun of him. I'm using him as an example. If you let your health deteriorate, and then you become the next Steve Jobs and you start Apple, which is now the largest market cap company in the world, who cares if you're dead? Nobody. You will be forgotten. You will be forgotten. People are forgotten. And even if you're not forgotten, who cares? You ain't alive. So enjoy. If you're watching this in your age 18, make sure you optimize for the day. And that's what I do. People say, what do you do? I said, optimize my day. Each day. I don't project out 7 years from now. I might plan for 7 years out. There's a difference. But you don't optimize for 7 years out. You optimize for the moment. The only known thing. I'm not the dumbest person in the world. I'm not the smartest. I've been a Mensa since I was 6 years old. I can hold my own intellectually. I challenge any person of any intellectual stature. I recently talked to Richard Dawkins. I know these people that are smart. Disprove my theory. Show me why you should, when you're 19, make your life shit so that hopefully your life will be better at 40. Prove it. Why? And if you're a Richard Dawkins type person, you're going to be an atheist. A lot of those guys are atheists. Not all of them. Christopher Hitchens. Well, then you believe that you could die. There's no fate. You could die at any moment. So why would you not optimize for 19? And then once you get 20, you optimize for 20. Again, you can plan for the future, and a wise person saves money for the future, and all that stuff. All that common sense stuff still applies within the worldview and the frame that I'm giving you. But this is, and just take it to me, if you want, I will open the debate for any smart person to try to debate this with me. It's too strong of an argument to be beaten by anybody. I've read 10,000 books. I've read the great philosophers. I know Will Durant. I know read Aristotle, Socrates. You know, it was interesting. My grandma was in La Jolla, the most Nobel Prize winners in the world. She had me with the #1 living philosopher in the world. Very fascinating guy. I think he kind of died. He's like 80 or 90 years old. And so I've been around intellectual giants, and I respect them. You can't beat my argument. Now, my argument goes back to, if for those of you who are philosophy majors, you know, there's Stoics, there's Epicureans. This sounds a little more Epicurean, which is eat, drink, be merry, for tomorrow we die. That's not what I said. That's not what I said. I am not Epicurean. I am not saying do cocaine. I'm not saying YOLO, you only live once. I'm saying you optimize for the moment, but in optimizing for the moment, you also predict that you'll probably be alive tomorrow. So you do too much cocaine, you're not optimizing for the good life, because cocaine will increase your chance of, you know, fucking dying for tomorrow. So it's a balancing act of long and short term. Most entrepreneurs, very long term. I've fallen in this trap. I'm as guilty as anybody. I'm telling you the hard way. I learned the hard way, and I didn't learn as hard of a way because I had smart mentors. If you want to, I don't know, become an artist, you better start painting today. You want to play piano? Get on it. Don't be doing this shit. Well, I used to have a business partner who would always tell me he's going to lose weight in 3 months. 3 months. He was always like, I need about 3 months to gear up for it and stretch. I'm like, no, you don't. And I can predict you'll never do it. You optimize for right now. You watch this video, go do something. Go do something that brings you the good life. But no, there's certain objective things. Don't, because people become delusional about the good life. They say, well, the good life for me, Ty, doesn't entail physical health. Nah, really? Really? You want to get a disease and then tell me that doesn't ruin your quality of life? Now, if you already have the disease, then you have to optimize around what best you have. But if you can prevent it, and everybody eventually dies of heart failure, just so you know. 100% humans die of heart failure. So eventually, everything I'm saying gives out anyway. There's no perfect formula in an imperfect world. But there is what there is now. And what there is now is you can optimize today. And you a little bit optimize and think about tomorrow, and you a little bit think about 7 years from now. But the 4 pillars, health, wealth, love, and happiness. Health is pretty simple in the modern world. You have to stay lean. You have to stay lean and relatively muscular as a man or a woman. You know, girls want good butts. Well, that's muscle. You don't need, most women, although there's a lot of exceptions to this, don't want to be quite as muscular as a man. You know, a guy, your BMI should be around 24 to 25. For girls, it's a little bit lower, you know, BMI. You can look it up and calculate it. Now, there's some variance for body types and whether you're a pro bodybuilder or a football player. But for the most part, you got to have a little waist. If your waist as a guy is more than about 32 inches, unless you're a huge guy like Rome, you know, that's 6'6", 350 pounds, your waist got to be under 32 inches for the most part. If you're a woman, it's even smaller. And that's not so that you can appear beautiful. Forget that. I'm not talking about societal norms. I'm talking about physiological norms. You got to do it. If you aren't doing it, then you must put tremendous power into doing it. Even if your career is pushed back, you make less money. Same with a lot of people have this thing, I won't find love because I'm working on myself. This myth that's being pushed around, just a garbage myth with no statistical proof. For the most part, all self-made billionaires were married young. So you can just, even though I'm not married, so I'm not the perfect example of this, I still am objective and will tell you the truth. Whether or not my life has, I haven't done a lot of things not perfectly. So I'm telling you the truth. All those people saying, well, I'm going to work on myself. No, you're not. What you're doing in the Hexaco personality test, which is the most scientific study of how humans are built emotionally. There's 26 facets. There's